November has crept up on us. We finally had some frosts, and as you can see, that's having an effect. Things starting to die back now. Regardless of what I do, I did stop watering these just over 2 weeks ago, and some of them are still clinging on to life, some of them ripening up still. Make use of those, don't worry. And some of them are starting to rot away, so that's the end of season rot there. Everything just turning to fur. So just shortly this will all be getting cleared. I did a little sort of minor harvest of some of the ones that I've been waiting on, having a lot of, including these white habaneros. The plant was absolutely covered in ripe ones. Now, rather than just taking them off in dribs and drabs, I just thought I'd wait until I had quite a lot. So I'm gonna do a little sauce based on them. I have an idea, and I'll probably put that up as part of this video. So hang on till the end if that's the case. If not, then I'll do a separate one later on. So yeah, it's a sad time of year now that they are actually dying back. But look on the bright side, it's the 1st of November today, which means we're only 10 weeks away from sowing the seeds for next year. So that's one happy spot. We'll go and look at the small greenhouse. And here, my onions need to get planted. I need to do that. They need to go in the polytunnel. The half of the polytunnel that they are going in is yet to be cleared. So still need to do that. If you look at the back, you'll see that my cayennes that were so bad earlier on this year have actually started to ripen up. But they are, you know, such low quality that they're not going to be useful for anything. It's much too late with my fuegos as well. As you can see, they're starting to fur up now as well. Plant's well and truly dead. My Jaloro still alive. The Jaloros usually last quite long. They'll usually last sort of till end of November. I harvested a couple of these this morning. I could probably harvest that one as well. That one's still a little green, but doesn't matter. Get it before they rot. Oh, the other ones, this was the absolutely useless one. This was the wild lombok, and it is going the way of hair. So it's rotting away. None of the fruit really ripened on it, and it wasn't going to be any good to me anyway, you know. Down here we've got our Mizuna and our rocket that I interplanted in amongst all of these a little while back. So once these all clear, they'll come onto themselves. My Chombo, I took all of the ripe fruit off of this a couple of weeks ago, and there's some that still looks like it's going to ripen, but it's not going to really. Everything else in here basically dead. Hoping for a better year in here next year, because the aphids really screwed things up for me. Next year I'm going to approach it a little bit better. I'll be a little bit more proactive with that and keep my eye on things and make sure it doesn't get overrun as it did this year. I'll go across the polytunnel. I'll show you what I've done so far in there and what's still to be done. Obviously I'll show you the place where these onions are going to go. They're not looking too healthy either, because they've been getting eaten by stuff, but once they're in the ground they'll be fine. They'll come on again just like that. Just to save myself doing a squash video as well, just to show you this. This is all that remains of the squashes. The actual squashes that never got very far, all starting to rot in place. And here we have all of the stuff that we've so far cleared out of the polytunnel. Looks a little bit different from the last video. So cleared everything in here, including the weeds, and I can see that some of the weeds are starting to come back again. I've not been down here for a few days, but this bit here is now loaded up with garlic. With that garlic there will go in the ground if I have space over here once the onions go in. So this bit here needs to be cleared just as much as the other bit. And this has been the star of the year. This is the cashmere mirch. And this one looks like we could get a decent sauce out of that. A decent replacement for my cayennes, although these aren't really as hot as the cayennes I've found. But they don't really need to be, because I tend to add in super hots into my red sauces anyway these days. So, and I've got plenty of them up the road, plenty of dried ones as well. So I'm going to give these a little bit of a harvest today as well, and I'll make a sauce from those. I've already got ideas. The rest of the place, just the marigolds really. The squash plants have died back, the tomatoes are dying back, but this is all going to get cleared. All those onions that you saw in the greenhouse are going to go in here. And I didn't really want to do this, but I'm going to show you the results of people neglecting their allotments round about yours if you're doing no dig. It's something that is not your fault, something that's very much on them, but it's just something to watch out for. And another thing that I need to have a proactive plan for next year. So we'll go around there, I'll show you that. And that is this. Weeds. A lot of my beds are just overgrown with them. It's been a warm October, so things haven't died back as quickly, so they've kind of taken hold and they're getting quite big. There's some plants that I wanted to leave here over winter, but I think I'm going to have to strip everything out. I'm going to have to take everything out, and I'm going to have to remulch all of these beds, because weeding them is just going to be impractical. It's going to take forever. So I'm just going to have to mulch them. Cardboard and compost, as I created them in the beginning. I'm just going to have to recreate them from scratch. So it's really bad. And even nettles, dandelions, thistles, fireweed, everything's represented here. This bed here was actually cleared. I actually weeded this one out a while back when it wasn't as bad as that. But all the stuff from next door just blows in. You can see the fireweed up there. That just empties its seeds straight into my allotment. These are my beds. These leeks, well, they haven't grown that well anyway. I'm not really going to be too upset when I clear everything in here, because I've not really had a great return during the summer, especially not with my second plantings, my fennel over there. I'm going to just have to pull this because it's just become overrun with weeds with all of these seeds blowing in. So the plan here is clear everything, clear all the big plants out, cardboard, recreate my paths. I've got plenty of wood chip to do that, and then remulch all my beds with mushroom compost, which is all I'll be able to get at this time of year, if I can even get that. One of the big successes this year though has been my herb garden. It's actually really come on in leaps and bounds. I've got my sage, I've got my rosemary, which was a very, very small plant when I put it in. My oregano, marjoram, which has taken over. Curry plant there, which is getting very big. That's lavender. Lemon balm. And this one here, which wasn't very frost tolerant, and it was dying back in the beginning. Look at the size of it now. This is a pineapple sage, and when you rub it, you get that sage smell, but you get the pineapple coming through at the back of it. It's really nice. That's some of the tarragon I transplanted because I thought I had cleared my tarragon, but no, it came back. So you can see I've got a bit of a mess to sort out this autumn. So this is going to keep me busy. And then come January, chilli season is going to start again. And we're going to start growing that stuff. I'm going to relocate all of this to the composter. All of the squash detritus is just going to get mulched over the top of, because that'll just become rot, part of the the landscape now. There's no point in clearing all this. It's just too much work, and it will just dry up to basically that. I just spotted a squash. It's still intact. I may pick that one later. Same story up here. This is another one. It's another one of my beds that just got overrun with weeds. As soon as the plants came out, as soon as they were cleared out of it, just seeds blew in, bam, all gone. This bit here is not so bad because this has had good coverage. Up at the back where we had the chickens, this is all covered with plastic now because that's the only option that I had at this moment in time to clear all of this, because the weeds here were getting really bad. Here we've got turnips, which I'm going to be harvesting just shortly. And over here we've got next year's cabbage, Savoy. We've got Savoy, we've got a couple other things which I can't remember now. I will check my notes. These are Jerusalem artichokes, and they are now, because the leaves are all sort of yellowing and darkening, these are going to be ready to harvest, and I'm interested to see this. I've never grown them before, never tasted them before. I don't know what they're going to be like, but I'm looking forward to trying that. And when they come out, that will be the catalyst for doing the whole general shebang in here. So you can see my work's cut out for me. I will be filming it as I go, so you will get to witness the trials and tribulations of autumn no-dig gardening when your neighbours don't care. So we'll do that, and that should be interesting viewing over the autumn for you. It's not going to be interesting work for me, it's going to be hard, but we're going to get there. Next job, actually, before I go, is going to be cutting back my grapevine. Quite a good crop of grapes this year, which isn't bad. The vine actually thickened up mightily this year. It was about that width down at its stem last year, but it's doubled in size. I can see down there now. So I'm looking forward to this next year. So that's it. That's it basically for the season. Growing season is finished. Once Jerusalem artichokes come out, once these come out, it's all sauce videos and graft videos where you get to watch me break my back for 6 hours a day, however long it takes getting this done. Of course, we're in Scotland, because in Scotland at this time of year, probably around about December, we're going to have dark nights. It's going to be like getting dark 3 o'clock in the afternoon and only getting light about 9 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to have, well, what does that work out as? 6 hours? We've got 6 hours of daylight, and I'm pretty much going to need all of that to do this and everything that needs done and get it all ship-shape for next year, so that I'm on top of it. Hopefully COVID doesn't get me this year like it did last year. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, which you probably didn't, it was just me waffling on about rubbish, give it a big like, and please consider subscribing, and you'll get to watch me torture myself through the winter from the infernal plot. Have a good autumn. Happy Halloween.